Interested in doing comedy, but worried about my digital footprint.
One, the job wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be.
Yes. Roadmap to being a comedian. Check one. Yep. That is most audiences and a lot of comedians.
Okay.
Base level humor.
The office culture started to get more woke and more woke, more woke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do comedy, I can literally say anything. And they're like, get him out of here. Stage name, don't record your sets. You got this unlocked.
This whole building your audience thing is so fake because there's algorithms at play. You know, I do certain things. I build an audience. Ladies and gentlemen, in these Comedy Skreets, week to week, Dante and myself hit up Reddit mostly and check out the comedy portions of the website, see what people are up to in the world of comedy and give our 2 cents. This week is no less with the headline reading. Interested in doing comedy, but worried about my digital footprint, which, you know, we'd like to talk about being on the digital friggin' platforms nowadays, and, you know, my opposition to that and all the blah, 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 blah. So I thought this would be a good one to read this week. So once again, interested in doing comedy, but worried about my digital footprint. It was posted by Screaming Goat 42. Once again, just regular words. Thank you. Freaking Cuck Central 88. That wasn't even it, but he's forever like Cuck Central 88. Whoever that was. I'm interested in doing comedy, but I'm worried that if I joke about sensitive subjects, drugs, race, sex, etc., that it will show up on future job applications and I will be rejected from jobs. I see so many comedians joking about stuff like this, and I wonder how they were able to get their career without worrying about being blacklisted from the job market. How do you guys joke about such subjects without being blacklisted from jobs? Most people that get into comedy, and I'm speaking as one of those people, are losers. We don't want a job. Bro. Job, this is it. You're either in or you're out, bro. Money, making money, throw that shit out the window for years. Being good, what the hell even is that for the first 10 years? Get out of here with good. Success? How do you even spell success in the first 5 years? Trash. You got anything to add?
Don't post your stuff online.
Yeah, like, I think that was pretty straightforward. Like, are you trying to be a comedian? If so, then you'll probably continue to find things that are more in line with that. Although, I guess being 14 years in, I didn't have to worry about this as much.
Yeah.
It started when I, was like 5 years in. It started becoming a thing. It's like, well, watch what you post and stuff. I don't know. I've never really worked a type of job where it's like high security or whatever.
I have.
You have?
That's why I left.
So you're a good person to talk to about this.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You left for that reason? Because you didn't want them to see something and just say anything to you?
That's part of it. Like one, like
wow, okay.
The job wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be.
Yes. Okay. Roadmap to being a comedian. Check one. Yep. Hate regular jobs. Continue.
It's an office like setting.
Check two.
And like, you try jokes in the office here and there and da.
And it's regular boring people that don't.
I was smashing, bro. With the
at the water cooler top.
Yeah, just with the weakest stuff. There's this old guy. He's like, yeah, when I first got my license, I'm like, you have to get a license to ride a horse. I'm like, and he's like, like he was just dying of laughter. I'm like, because I said he was old.
Okay, wait though. Extrapolate that data.
Mm-hmm.
That is most audiences and a lot of comedians.
Okay.
Base level humor. Do you not see why I have such an internal struggle?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the funniest people are the ones that are artists about it.
Yeah.
The basic people are the basic people and they find the basic things funny. That's why the basic comedians will say the basic things to those basic audiences. And it's like, oh my God, he's freaking the greatest in comedy.
But also, because then like they started, you gotta add your pronouns in your email signature. And like,
oh.
and so like the office culture started to get more woke and more woke, more woke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do comedy, I can literally say anything. And they're like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
So let me get
myself out of here.
Yeah. Let me jump into this black hole, go to the unknown.
Yep. That's the real, that's the way.
It's better to leave than to get fired. You know what I mean?
No blemish on your resume or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and that is the artist way. I made my boss cry. I'm naive because I quit a really good job. Like years when I first got into comedy,
yeah,
I had a great job that if I was smart, I should have wrote it out another like 2-3 years and just kept banking.
Yeah.
Because I was able to bank and I was 2 years into comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But because, bro, I knew from the first time I picked up the mic, that was the rest of my life. I knew it.
Yeah.
So a year goes by and now 2 years in and I'm like, all I'm hearing, and specifically there's this one like Eddie Murphy when he was on the Arsenio Hall show. It's a famous clip.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you have to quit. Like, there is no plan B. That type deal. You have to be all plan A, and if you give yourself a plan B, then you'll fall back on plan B every time. And I heard that, and I almost wish, like it's good advice if applied at the right time. I think you also have to be prepped, and I didn't prep myself properly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
And I saved up a decent enough chunk to where I can just go for a year.
Yeah.
I was living at home still. So it was like, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know enough. I was still so brand new.
Yeah.
I had made more inroads in comedy, but I didn't progress to the point where, and of course I wasn't going to the point where I was going to live off of it.
Yeah.
Especially in Canada.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that yet. I was still that naive.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's why I also wish, and last week I said this, I speak to comedians now that are coming up and tell them things I wish I had heard.
Yep.
Because damn, bro, it takes nothing for somebody who has been doing it longer than you to approach you, especially if they see something in you and just help you in any way.
Yeah.
Not like just be yourself on stage or what. No, like some real life shit. Help me navigate through this weird system of ego and bullshit and politics.
Because I'm editing like the next episode of Black Zeus, the show.
Yeah.
And we're talking to Chris about it. And he was saying how like
salutes to Chris Robinson.
He was saying that like I didn't want any responsibility, so I left my job at HMV when they wanted to promote me to be a manager. He's like, well, I didn't think that I could balance doing comedy and being a manager at HMV. When he for sure could have.
Yeah, 100%.
Saved up money that way.
100%. Especially at that time too, when he had started. Back then, it was still flip phones, bro.
Yeah.
Like we were still on Blackberries and shit. So it wasn't people posting everybody's life online or like right in the pussy like that guy, and then you get fired or whatever from your job. You don't remember that became a trend? The one guy who went, it wasn't even real.
He went.
The original clip isn't even real. Right in the pussy. It was like a sketch or whatever. And then people just started doing that on live news and then they would get fired at their real job. I'm like, that's what this person's worried about. 100%. Doesn't want to say right in the pussy on stage, which probably will. But let's read some of these comments before we move on to the next thing. You hit up the first few that you like.
Don't worry, no one will watch your clips.
Where's the Tony one that you saw?
Just don't go and kill Tony. You'll be fine.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
I know you want fame, but you do have to weigh that thought. If I get pulled on the bucket, I get on Kill Tony. People say the craziest things, and straight up Tony has been like, I have IRS people that watch the show. Why are you...
Yeah.
He doesn't stop you from saying stuff about you like all that stuff. Yeah. He doesn't stop you from saying...
Well, even Jared Blair, they talked about this on the podcast. One of their sponsors...
The Kill Tony...
No.
Jared's.
One of Jared's sponsors, like Jared and Blair, for the shows that they do.
Yeah.
One of their sponsors were like, we're not going to work with you anymore because of what Tony said.
Damn.
And Jared has been on Kill Tony.
And yeah, he's associated with it at this point. He's part of the history.
But it's not even something Jared said.
It was something that Tony said specifically.
It's not. It's just that it's Tony.
Yeah, no, it was something that Tony said that the person didn't like, is what you're saying.
I think it's just
not Jared.
I think like even just like he performed at a Trump rally. Not even for what he said, but just him.
But just
being there.
his political alignment. Yeah, like I don't know. Things are again. We're removed. Art is dead, bro. People look for reinforcement. That's my gripes, bro. That's my gripes with all this shit. Nobody's in it to just be an artist and be okay with the fact that not every like this whole building your audience thing is so fake because there's algorithms at play. So to build an audience, if you know I do certain things, I build an audience. Now you see why so many people do like generic things over and over. Y'all niggas are fake. It's just the majority of people are fake. Thank God we're building an audience and we're saying what we're saying up front. If you're with it, much love and respect. You're probably an open-minded person who thinks before they speak. Let's read one more and get out of here.
Stage name, don't record your sets. You got this on lock.
Stage name. Bo, 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 bo. Yeah, it's gonna do it for in these comedy screets this week because we got another segment to wrap
make
up
the jokes
show
funny.
here. Nigga, let me wrap up cleanly.
I thought this was funny because this goes into what you're saying.
What?
Make the jokes funny. If you're funny, then okay. But if you're just
Okay, but your timing was just crazy, especially
'cause
for a
that's when I
comic.
read it.
As I'm speaking, you're gonna start freaking. This is a friendship. This is a real friendship. Don't worry about us. Worry about yourself.
Hey, it's Hen Dog.
Black Zeus, the podcast, season 6, featuring Black Zeus and Dante, aka Black Zeus on YouTube